Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. This morning I'm going to be planting the cover crop grasses in all these bare areas. The grass in question is Perennial Rye, and it's going to be a placeholder until I can do whatever needs to be done in the area. This area and that area are both going to change when we put our garage here. So I don't want to plant warm season native grasses here yet because they get 10-12 foot long roots, and it would just make it much harder to work in this area. Once this is going to be dug out for storm shelter and then have a basement poured above here, and this will be like a block wall right here. So the majority of this stuff is going away, and I don't want incredibly tough to get rid of grass growing here. So hence the Perennial Rye. And it's a beautiful grass. It's a bunch grass. You can see this is from last year, and all I did was go through here and toss seed. No tilling or anything, so it establishes really well, and it's easy to get rid of especially if you're going to be replanting with warm season grass, because early in the spring, before the warm season grass is up, all you got to do is go in and spray glyphosate, and that won't mess with your warm season grass, but it will kill this stuff. So what I got to do, I got to get some fertilizer down. I'll go mix some fertilizer. I got to drag this road. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to that today, but I at least got to get these hills done. The one behind the house, this one, the one right there, and then I have a couple other places in the woods and along the road that need planting as well. So I got a lot of planting to do, so I better get started. I tried taking Izzy on her walk down the road here earlier today, just about 20 minutes ago or so, and we got around the corner here and a really big tree fell in the woods and made a huge crash. She ran under a barbed wire fence right over here, through that woods over there, under another barbed wire fence, came out in our neighbor's field over here, ran across their field up to the road, and then ran down the road to the house and sat on the porch and waited for me to let her in. She is quite the coward. An update on the ducks. The ducks all like each other now, and our new ruined ducks believe that Eve is their mom, and Eve likes that as well. She was really broody and making nests all over, and she was kind of crazy, and now she has babies and all is well in Duckville. All right, let me get some fertilizer here. Okay, here's my fertilizers. I'm not going to use MAP or potash on this at all. I'm just using urea. Urea is it's pure nitrogen basically, and it's really great for the upper part of the plant. The way to think of it is up, down, all around. So the 11, this is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. Phosphorus is for the roots mostly, and the potash is for the general plant health. I'm just going to use nitrogen, and that's what most lawn fertilizers are for grasses and stuff. They're just nitrogen, and that's what I'm going to do as well. If this was a long-term thing, I would add this stuff as well. And this is all going to be taken out at some point soon, so urea is all I need. All right, I got a break in the wind. It's going to be a very windy day, so I'm not sure how this filming's going to go. I'll probably have to come back after doing each little step and kind of describe how they're going. I got all of my nitrogen thrown. You can see where I stopped seeding last year. I had planned to plant all of this stuff in buffalo grass, but unfortunately we could not afford that much buffalo grass, so ryegrass it is. Now I'm going to toss the seed. This stuff will grow if you just toss the seed on the ground. I'm going to lightly rake it in on the sides of the hills, and I'm going to drag the road. Dragging the road is going to be pretty difficult because I'll have to keep stopping, removing the drag, turning around, and then starting again and come the other way, but I'll get it done. Hopefully the wind is not messing up the audio too bad on this. All right, let's get the seed tossed. All right, here's my seed. This is Endograze Perennial Rye. I believe that's the name of the brand. And I believe that this is like, I think tall fescue gets a fungus on it that's bad for horses, especially lactating horses. I'm not sure though, but I'm just using it as a regular grass, but it is like a pasture grass. If you're looking for this grass yourself, you probably got to buy it online. I believe this is made by La Crosse Seed, which is north of us, the factory, but they sell all over the country, and you would likely have to get it from an ag store. I get this from an ag store, and you can buy it by the pound there. They fill barrels with different kinds of seeds. You can get whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to toss this, do a little bit of light raking on the sides, and then drag the road. All right, I'm trying to toss seed away from the wind. The wind keeps shifting from southeast to east as I'm tossing, and then we're getting some really good gusts. It's going to be a very windy day, so I really need to get this seed on the ground as soon as possible, and then water it. Water it, wait a little while, walk on it, and rake a little bit of it in. This area right here is going to get another addition, so I don't really care about the shape of the ground. The ground is kind of funky the way it is, but it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to be hanging out there or anything. This is going to get an addition here, a deck back there, and a deck over here at some point. Yeah, with this straw on the ground, it's kind of hard to see where your seed's going, but in the end I'll get it all. Yeah, right here is the buffalo grass. It kind of comes where it was watered right there. So I got to blend these two together. We couldn't afford to do buffalo grass on the whole thing this year, so it is what it is. Alright, I got a lot of seed to toss before the wind picks up. Then it's going to rain tonight and get this stuff started. Out of the areas up here by the house, all I have left is right here. This is going to be flowers, this whole area. We got, a half pound of flower seed. Everything's really late because of this COVID stuff. So we don't have that seed on hand yet. But that's going to go Like I want a path right here so I can get to the barn. So that's going to go on this side of the path, and the rest is going to be grass. And then the rest of the seed is going to go in the ditch out here. It should be pretty nice looking. All right, let me get my seed in here, and then I got to get some watering done. I don't think I'm going to rake this stuff in. That's what I had planned on doing at first, but the ground is pretty soft, so what I'm going to do is water, and then when the ground is semi-dry, I'm just going to go walk around and step this seed in. I didn't do anything with most of this area. I just tossed seed all through here, and this is what happened, and that was last year. So this stuff isn't really fussy. It sprouts really easy. So that's my new plan. So I just got to get this seeded across the street by the shed there, and then the areas that we burned down in here. All right, it is a little over 4 hours since I last videoed. The girls decided to go to town. It's Natalie's birthday, so we went to town and we ate at a little street side cafe. So that was nice. And then we took the dog swimming in a creek ways down that way. So now it's getting late and it's going to rain in a little bit, so I'm going to have to hurry up and get this done. So I got all the stuff I wanted to seed up there done, and I overseeded along the road here. Now I have the area that I cleared earlier and some places where we burned earlier all through here. Real difficult getting through here, but it doesn't need a whole lot of seed, so I just got to zigzag back and forth all the way to that other side. And then I believe I have some by the shed left to do as well. So let's go toss some seed. Yeah, this is rough going through here. I cut this 2 years ago, so most of it is pretty dry. I just got to pull this out. And that should happen next week after this rain. But for now, I believe all of this different colored grass right here, I think that's all bottle brush grass. Oh, that could be Canadian wild rye or bottle brush grass. That's what I planted by the trees. All right, this is where we burned. I just got to get in here like I did in that last video where I cleared. I got to come through this and clear. I'm not sure how well the camera's picking this up, but this is just a huge mess of little trees in here. I got to find a good place to burn, probably down that way somewhere, and hopefully get Natalie to help and pull all this stuff out of here. Pull it all out and burn it. This is the area that I burned when I cut right over here and burned just a few days ago, and I cleared a lot of this stuff out. So a lot of what's left here can be pulled over here into this burn spot. So now the ground is exposed and I got to get some seed on it before weeds grow up here. Again, this stuff is likely the Canada wild rye. You can tell it's very different from the stuff that I'm throwing. This dark green stuff is the Perennial Rye, and this is either Canada wild rye or it's bottle brush grass. I guess all these ryes seem to do very well in semi-shade, but I just tossed seed around these big trees last year of the Virginia rye, Canada wild rye, and bottle brush grass. All three of them don't mind shade that much, so that's what I tossed here. I'll be able to tell once I get seed heads on them. I got to get in here with 2,4-D and hit all these little sucker trees that are popping up and the broadleaf weeds, but it's getting there. There's still way too many little trees sitting on the ground though, but this isn't that big of a job to get these over there and get it burned. Most of them are all cut down already, so just a matter of dragging them over. I got a little area right next to the road up there and a pretty big patch right there. Some right in there, and that whole triangle that Natalie and I did the other day needs seeding, but I need to get in there and spray first, so I'll skip that today. And then I got to get across the street, stop by this little oak that we planted, and it has leaves starting to grow on it, which is awesome. It's too bad these trees are so tiny, but I guess they'll get there. I need to get these roots out of here as well. They're kind of a hazard. And that one right there, it's a busted tree. If you've been here before, you may have seen that we had this road put in last year, well after the addition was done. Well, the addition isn't done, but well after the addition was dried in. Last fall we had this road put in. This road's been here for 8 years. This one's been here for 5 years. And the one that goes down and all the way to the bottom, that's been there as long as this one. But this is brand new. And I don't know, I might not be able to get grass to grow here, but it's certainly doing good up that way. Alright, I better get this stuff seeded here. Well, let me see how that tree's doing first. It's not as good as the other one, but it looks to be fine. Ground's still moist. I'm hoping all of them still have enough water. It's going to rain tonight. I don't want to water 25 trees. Alright, let me get this seeded. Okay, all done seeding. Was just checking on my upper grapevines, and they're starting to open up, which is a good thing. And the clematis, this was transplanted yesterday, and no sign of shock. And it's actually, I did not do that, it's starting to grab a hold of the trellis already. So I'll help that out as it goes. I want it to go sideways and fill the whole thing. But I finished seeding and went in the house, and the women weren't there. And I think they're right on the other side of the container there. Let me show you the little blue stem. This is what the little blue stem looks like when it starts coming up. So this was all burned before, and then I came through and sprayed glyphosate. Unfortunately, I have some other grass that came up in the meantime. I can't remember if I sprayed that or not, but a little bit of weeds isn't going to bother anything. Next year I'll come through and spray with glyphosate early again. I'm trying to keep my back to the wind. It gusts way up. It's like 40 some mile an hour gusts. So I don't want the audio messed up. I sprayed 2,4-D in the patches of this cool season grass. You can see that the weeds are dying back. This is bottlebrush grass right here, and I think there's some Canadian wild rye in there. Don't know what that one is, the big one. I'm gonna have to wait till it gets a seed head and see what it is. But yeah, you can see where all these clumps are. That's a little blue stem plant, and the grass starts coming up right about the beginning of May. So if you burn before that, you can get rid of everything that's growing at that time, and then you can spray right up until about May. Everything's looking good here. Oh, they're doing something with the hoofs. The farrier was here. When was it? Was that this? No, it was yesterday, I think. I would have recorded it, but I didn't really feel like asking him if he wanted to be on camera. He's not the on-camera kind of person, I don't think. The pet cemetery is looking good this year. This is our good old dog Maya. And over on this side, everything else is on this side. Bob the squirrel, Gizmo the guinea pig, Putz the cat, that was Natalie's first cat. Gizmo the guinea pig, we still have the one, we bought two at the same time, we still have one of them. And Bob the squirrel, we saved from a tree that fell down and had a little baby squirrel in it. Well, we didn't save him. He eventually died, but we went through a lot of stuff trying to save him. And this is Lucy. She was on some of the videos. We had her the first year of the YouTube channel. She was a rescue dog, a breeder dog, and she passed away. Oh, she had a full summer here, so that was good for her. And we'll check on this right away. This one is doing really well, like that first one we looked at. All right, this area right here is the area Natalie and I cleared, maybe 2 weeks back. It's getting pretty grassy in here, and that's the buffalo grass right there. You probably can't see it, but the majority of it is up already, and it's getting bigger every day, really fast now. So I'll show you that in detail in a future video. So if you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you give the video a like and or share it, it helps the channel out great. Thanks for watching and have a great day.